right, good to have you guys again. It's Talking Trends right here on Oxford TV with me, Nkeiruka, Ibeh. And you know how we do it every Friday. I always tell you to take it down, take a chill pill, take a glass of wine. I mean, it will not hurt you, but always consult your doctor before you do so. We're going to be talking about 50-50 in a relationship, and I have two people in the house today to help us make some sense of it. I mean, let them give their own 2 cents, while I also give my 2 cents about it, because I mean, I'm in a relationship as well. You know, it's not going to be, Anyways, that's a story for another day. So I have with me Helena Duru, and she is a Nollywood actress, a scriptwriter, a producer. Baby girl, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. And I also have Emmanuel Okosisi. He is a banker and a media enthusiast. I mean, dude, what's up?
You're trying now.
You're trying, you're really trying. I mean, how do you have over 16,000 followers on Twitter? Me, I have like 50. I don't even know how you guys even go about that whole Twitter shit.
It's mostly consistency.
Consistency. All right, so I mean, the topic is 50-50 in a relationship, either marriage or dating.
Okay.
Dating in the sense like a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
Okay.
I mean, and most times men always complain about women not, doing things for them. Because a guy will say, on my girl's birthday, I took her out to dinner where she brought her friends, I bought her stuff. But on my own birthday, she will not go and buy me singlet and boxers. Do you get? So you guys always feel cheated.
Yeah.
So that's how this question came up.
Okay.
What would you do? Or how would you go, either 50-50 or not? Let me start with you, Helena. Why are you laughing?
Oh my goodness. Okay, the question is cool. 50-50 in a relationship, like you're not married, you're just partners. There's no big deal. You're not my father. Okay. You probably do the ones that you can, but you're still going to support as the man. But in marriage, God forbid I do 50-50. In fact, let me do it in my tradition as Jimakwa. I will not do 50-50 for any reason, for anything in this world. I will not do 50-50. To start with, I wouldn't even want to marry a man who probably will earn the same income.
Okay.
I wouldn't want that. I want a man who probably earn more than I do. You call yourself the head. You should take up the responsibility. After all, God says, it's written in the Bible, women are helpers. I'm just a helper to you. I'm not here to drag any position with you.
Okay.
Do your thing, bruh. I will support you.
Okay, you're going to support.
I'm going to support in my way. You're not
So
going to
how
compel
are you going
me
to support?
Of course, when it comes to the domestic chores, you're not going to do that for me.
Okay.
I'm going to do that myself. But if you feel like you want to do anything at home, it's okay. If I also feel like I want to contribute financially, it's still okay. But do not compel me to.
Okay.
Do you get? Because I think the way we're wired, women are not wired to carry loads, especially financial loads. Check out families, families where women are probably taking up the financial roles. It's not always cool. They feel sometimes, that's why you see men be like, whenever a woman is earning more, she's so proud, she's being rude, she insults them. No, the truth is, whoever carries load sometimes can be very annoying. Men sometimes, they feel worn out. But because they have that mentality that, if I don't do this thing, who will do it? They will chill. A woman is not wired like that. A woman is wired to be soft, to be pampered. We're the receivers. We take, we don't give. No, but that's the truth.
What do you think?
That's why we give us pregnancy. We take everything.
You take
yes, now we take where
you take it and you keep it and then
and later we bring it out.
Women actually do multiply these things. When
Exactly.
They give it to them.
We're not wired to carry loads.
You understand? So what's your take?
Okay. The side I'm on now is that yes, a woman is not supposed to be 50-50.
It's not supposed to be 50-50.
It's not supposed to be 50-50.
Okay.
The man is supposed to take more responsibilities than the woman. But we have cases, we have situations. Do you understand? Okay, I know of a situation whereby this man is an importer, like containers and all. You understand? And situation happened, the ship capsized and he was going through a really tough time. And it was the woman that helped out. Do you get? This was before marriage. So that was what determined that, okay, this lady is really behind me. That's the meaning of support. That's even the definition. That's even the definition of support. Now, support is not supposed to be measured. When you are talking about love, sometimes people go out of their way, even if it is not every time. Maybe it's just this particular period, they go out of their way for love for their man. So you're not supposed to measure it that, okay, I'm doing this, it's supposed to be 50-50. There are sometimes, although I still say it is individual difference, some men will not appreciate it later on, while some men will still do things.
I was actually waiting for you there.
You understand? We'll see those things that, okay, this person actually went out of her way for me. In fact, I think the best time to know someone's personality is when the person is in money, male or female.
To know somebody's personality is when the person
is in money.
Okay.
But that's the truth. That's the only way you know people's true character.
That's when you know people's true character, is when the person is in money.
You don't use a broke man to know how you feel. A broke man will leak up everything about you, treat you all good.
So when he's rich now, he might, so those things are there. But to just narrow everything down in nutshell, I would say, if I'm to be practical with this stuff, you know of the likes of what's her name? Jennifer. What's her name? Jennifer's diary. Funke Akindele and GGC. Okay. There was a time GGC was, I know it's still financially stable and all. There was a time it was even more than what it was now. He was chilling with the likes of Don Jazzy and all before he came and he got married. There was a mistake he did, because even if the men naturally have ego, but it is not all. But there is a level to this ego, because you are already pictured to be the head of the family. Do you understand? So there are some responsibilities that are, it is even there from deception. It's not arguable. You're not supposed to be arguing it. It's like telling me now I have sons, like 7 sons, and I have 2 daughters, and I have a farm, and I'll be calling the girls to go and farm. Do you understand? There are some things that you don't just talk about. Okay, now when they got into marriage, he has his own building, he has his own money. She has her own building, she has her own money. And if you are to calculate it, we all know that I think she's richer than him, like when it comes to money and all. The mistake he did was to leave his own house to go and stay and make our house their matrimonial home. So every time they are having...
You also said something, you also said something about love, like love in a relationship.
Yes,
so,
it's not measured. It shouldn't be measured,
so
because there
are you saying you have a problem with him moving in with her?
Now, when you are talking about matrimonial home, biblically, it's supposed to be the woman will leave her place and come to the man's house.
No, I thought it's the man will leave his
this
family.
Is not Indian, no.
No.
It's only Indian that the woman will propose.
Putting into the wife does not mean the house part. Please, I understand where he's coming from, and I support him in that. On no account should you move in with your wife or your woman. Like on no account.
On no account.
I won't even want to live with a man who wants to come to my house.
Thank you. Because even secretly, codedly, a woman will want to see that manly characteristics in you. Forget about money. Like, why? What are you? Why are you a man over me? Why are you my husband? Do you understand? At least you're supposed to have noticed that he's not supposed to have made that mistake to go. So anytime they're having issues, leave my house.
Oh, sorry to cut you short. Unless we're not living in the same country.
Okay.
That's the only place I can accept that. Let's say you stay abroad, I stay in Nigeria. There's no point going out to get a house.
That's why I said this is not Indian. Because in other countries like India, and I think they're the one that proposed to men now.
The thing is done upside down in India.
The family of the girl goes to marry.
Pay price and all that, groom price or whatever it's called.
So it is not going to be bad if the man is going to stay with the woman. That's abroad. That's why I'm being specific about in Nigeria. So that's one of the mistakes he made. So now every small issue, leave the house, go and stay in your place. So it's seeming as if he's degrading himself as the husband, as the head. Do you understand? So me, I support the motion of more responsibility. The man is supposed to have more responsibility.
More responsibility.
He should take on the whole responsibility.
It should be 50-50, and it should not be measured in some cases, because there are cases.
Mention some cases that you think.
There are some cases now. You know that okay, this man is promising. Okay, let's leave promising. He's even into business, and something happened. You understand that you know that you have that money. Okay, look at the case that happened.
But for me, that's a different case you're talking about.
Look at it's inside the percentage. All of them.
See, that's a different case you're talking about. Because if you actually love someone, let's say we're in a relationship, even if we're not married, and you're doing well, I know you're doing better than I am, and you're caring. Probably you're taking care of me, or you have a business you open for me or something, and something happens to you, bro, I'm gonna be by your side. It's not when you have your money and you're doing your own thing and you somehow your boat or your ship or whatever capsized, you expect me to come. I mean, look at you. Yeah, because when you have it, what were you doing with it? If you support me, I will support you too.
No, that's true. You have a point there. But you know, that's the only way you measure. It is through these situations you use in measuring
Yeah, but
love.
okay.
Isn't measuring sacrifice. In fact, love is all about sacrifice.
Of course, it's
You
sacrifice.
understand?
Yeah.
Your time, what you give into it. Sometimes it does not even have to be money. Your time, what you give it. Okay, you have. I was talking about a marriage that the man was not like financially stable and they were not paying school fees of the kids. This woman had the money and paid the school fees of the kids codedly and was still telling the head of the proprietress and the proprietor to always disturb the man for
So that they will collect
so that
it.
they will collect it, and the man ended up committing suicide. What are you going to say about that?
Okay, the man ended up
Committing suicide. Yes.
After she had paid the fees.
After she
and
had
still,
paid the fees. So they were still pressuring the man that the kids have not paid school fees, that it was accumulating.
Okay, there was also a scenario whereby this lady, her husband, they were not financially okay, right? And then she went ahead and built them a house.
Okay.
When the man wasn't doing anything, she was the one working, feeding the family, but she was always making excuses that, okay, it was my brother that gave me this money. The man just didn't want to hear that, quote and unquote, the money is coming from his wife.
Okay.
So she still went ahead and built them a house. After building the house, because they were staying in a rented apartment, and she now said, sweetheart, I've built us a house. Let's move. This man still said over his dead body, would he move into a house that the wife built?
That's where this individual difference comes in. That's why I said there are some men that takes this ego stuff too far. You guys are partners. You are partners for crying out loud.
Yes, in some cases like that, right?
Yes.
Because you said Nigeria.
Yes.
Me, I was actually going to say in general.
Okay.
Because we're not saying whether Nigeria or over not in Nigeria.
Okay.
But if we're narrowing it down to Nigeria, a lot of men, 80% of Nigerian men have this ego. They would never want to take anything.
80%.
I will not say 80%.
Just narrow it down to Anambra men. Let's know where you're going to. Yeah, because I'm sorry to say this, I'm not being tribalistic, but some Yoruba men don't care. Some Yoruba men I know don't care. They don't care. Just say Igbos. Just say Igbos.
Not Igbos. Not necessarily Igbos.
I'm just saying Igbos.
I'm
like
talking
this,
based on Lagos scenario now. I'm
these
using
ones,
Lagos.
Igbos. No.
Right.
Okay.
Some men, like in general, like you said, ego. Men have this ego
Of
that's
course
always
they do.
playing on their mind.
But
Like,
there are levels to it.
okay.
There are levels to it. There are some people that takes it too far. Once you notice that the woman is making, I don't see why you are supposed to even be jealous of your wife if she's actually performing better. That has to show that you got married to like an asset, not even a liability.
So would you even marry a woman?
That is inspiring.
Will you marry a woman who
Yes,
actually
she motivates me now. Like, would I marry a woman that is not
That's
doing
not
anything
doing
in this
anything.
age and time? No, now.
in this age and time?
No, now.
Why? Because you're also talking about the man being the head. He should be the one taking more responsibilities. And
There's
all
even
of
a
that.
question when they ask, let's say you want to settle down with somebody, what are you bringing to the table? So we'll tell you that they are the
table has
table.
broken a long time
that
ago.
question is one of
Trust
the most
me.
annoying questions.
That
Like
table has broken.
The
that's
table has
one of the
broken.
most
It has
annoying
broken.
questions.
What is affecting these things are trust. Some will still tell you that they don't trust women. Some will tell you that they don't trust men. Some women self might even have money, like financially stable, but will just keep it on the low. Have investment on the low.
course.
Don't tell my husband this.
And because
I'm
of the
doing
security
But
issues,
is it
they're
okay?
also
Is it okay
trying
for me to want to marry a
Even-
billionaire?
It gets to the point that if you are having contract, having agreement, they don't make use of their husband as next of kin. Have you not noticed?
I have not noticed.
They don't make their wife as next of kin. Why?
You mean the husband don't
I'm
make their
trying to
wives
ask you
as next of
something.
kin?
Like, is it okay for me to say I want to marry a billionaire? Because
No,
sometimes
you are wishing yourself
when you
well
say
now.
that, people tend to look
very,
at you
very
as a
okay.
gold digger.
Yeah,
But
they say you're a
he
gold
said
digger.
he said before he gets married, he's going to ask what you're bringing to the table. So if you have a choice,
a woman cannot ask that
exactly.
question.
You know
if you
there's
have
a
a
saying,
choice
you know there's a saying.
of what she brings to the
There's a
table, I should
saying.
have a choice of a billionaire too.
There's a saying. The saying goes like this. They said in prime. When I mean in prime, that's when a woman is actually young and the man too is actually younger. In a prime, the woman has higher hand than the man. Take for instance, the woman can actually, I don't know if I'm to use that word, can actually choose who she's going to make love to.
When she's in her prime.
Yes, who she is going to make love to. A man can only choose who he can make love to, who is available.
I think
for him
not
to
only
make
when
love
she's in her prime.
to. Okay.
Women in general.
In general.
Like we can actually choose.
No, I'm quoting it. I'm just quoting
No,
something.
but that's true. That's true actually.
Okay.
A woman can.
But a man can marry who he wants to. Why a woman can marry who she can.
Okay. I think is a man can marry.
Now those.
Okay, I think a woman can marry the man. I think a man who is available.
Yes, a man can marry who he wants to, even if you have to put them in the same financial status.
At the end of the day, he's the one making the decision. He's the one
The
going
one
for the fishes.
He's the one marrying.
You get, but you as a woman, you keep selecting on probability. You feel like I don't even know if I'm ever going to get the best. Let me
so
just
you just
end up with
settle
this.
for the one that is available.
But do
End
you
up with this
think?
person.
Do you guys think that when two people come together, like let's now use marriage scenario now, you're married and then your husband tables it on the table, like whatever table. I know the table has broken, but there is that table is somewhere and says, okay, this is what I aim, this is what you aim. Let's put it together and then build.
Okay, yes,
build
you
what?
said something. I have a marriage plan like that. Like,
You have a marriage
Wait,
plan.
and build what?
And build the home.
okay, take for
Which
instance now. Take for instance now.
your home. Of
My own
course.
plan now is similar to what you are saying now. I feel that I'm going to be bringing, let's say, 60% of my income.
Let's go on a short break so that Helena can finish laughing. Because I need to really understand why you're laughing. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back.
From streets of Dubai, keep watching Export TV.
Thank you, Oxford TV. Keep watching Oxford TV.
Hi, I'm Chris and thank you Oxford TV from Dubai.
Keep watching Oxford. Continue. Wala wala. Yalla, habibi. Tali tali.
Okay, welcome back once again. I mean, it's still Talking Trends right here on Oxford TV. I still have the beautiful Helena Duru, the Nollywood actress, and I still have Emmanuel Okosisi. I like that name, Okosisi.
Thank you.
And before the break, Helena was laughing. I want to know why you were laughing, because I said when a man wants to marry you, like he said, he will ask you what you're bringing to the table. And I said that table has broken a long time ago. But when you guys now get married, it is now assured, like this is your man and this is your woman.
There's already a commitment. And agreement.
Exactly. And he now says, babe, oh yeah, I have this money. Wait till you get. Let's use it and let's put it together. Why won't you have?
I don't have. My money is not for us to put together.
Why?
My money is for something else.
Toss the saying, your money is our money. My
Yes,
money is my money.
my husband's money is our money. My
Toss
money
the
is my
saying.
money. I'm a woman, for God's sake.
Okay.
Do you understand? If you don't have money to run a home, you don't have a business with getting married.
But you know that we always keep saying equality.
Equality is
So
always still.
it does not matter. The equality
I
does
am
not
not
come
equal
into
to a
mind.
man, for God's sake. He has more physical strength than I do. I'm emotionally stronger than he is. So I have places where I'll know that, okay, in fact, I don't even know why people say that equality thing, because if you ask me, somehow women are more stronger than men. Men are just physically strong. Do you get? So when it comes to taking up their roles, why would you want to take up a man's role? Allow him to do his thing. So you telling me that my husband has to bring some amount of money? I'm not bringing anything, bruh. It is your home. Run it. I will only support you. The least I can do is, if, let's say for instance, you're building a house and you probably want to put a PVC and I like a POP. I'll be like, baby, I don't like this PVC you want to put. You'll be like, that's where my money is. If I have the money, I will now want to, like, this is what I want. I want a POP. I will support you because I probably want a POP. Not because you're going to tell me to bring money to build which house? A house that when you're done, you probably tell me you want to marry a second wife. These things, we don't know how it happened. It has happened in our presence. We know it happened.
Trust.
But you know, people
change.
Yeah,
Trust.
true.
People
though.
change.
I understand what you mean by trust, but in most cases, people have trusted this men that they married.
Exactly.
And
But why is it that you guys are making it seem as if the men are just the betrayers? There are cases whereby the women
Of
too are-
course. No, I'm just saying in my own case. I'm not trying to say maybe men. We have women who are also betrayers, right? But I'm saying in my own case because I'm trying to be careful. Do you know how broken I'm going to feel like I actually built a house with my husband? Like, let's say just the way you're saying 60, which I know is very impossible. I will not bring any 40. But let's assume something happens tomorrow. I decide to be stupid and bring 40. Okay. And we build a house. We furnish it together. And tomorrow, because of one of his stupid flings, he ended up impregnating a woman. And because of tradition, I don't want my child to be a bastard. I need to marry her. Do you know how I'm going to feel? Do you know if I might not survive it? Because if you want to marry a second wife, tell me on time. I'll have it in my head that, my husband I want to marry a second wife.
There are cases of women having kids outside and putting it on the man. And when you go for DNA test and you notice that this man has given his all, and you notice that this child that he has been taking care of.
Yeah, we know
and in that case, these men commit suicide. In that case, some men commit suicide. But when it happens to a woman, we tend to enjoy it. You think it's funny? It's still the same thing. If you bring in a bastard, sorry to use the word, for a man to train, it's still the same thing when a man goes outside.
But you know it is obvious. For a man, it's fucking obvious. If you say you are bringing in this child now, you know that you cannot pin this child to the woman that this is your child.
The matter is not about pinning. It's not about pinning. It's the betrayal that's the problem.
Yes.
You guys feel because you cannot pin it on a woman. Like that, there's no levels that
beg. It's not like you're pinning it on the woman. You're just bringing that child. Take the case of Yul Edochie. He brought his case to the whole world to hear. I think whether he had the conversation with his wife or not, but the fact that he came out on social media and just said, my second wife, oh, my child, oh. Do you know how that woman felt? Do you understand? That woman felt like, whatever it is she felt, I don't even know, and I don't even care to know. It's their marriage and all of that. But we're looking at it from the point where he, as the man, just bloated it out like that. Because, quote and unquote, he is the man and he can do anything he deems fit. So in a relationship, let's say for instance now, you get married, and then how much are you willing to, if you agree to the 50-50, right? Do you even agree to it?
Now, sovereignty-wise, when you're talking about sovereignty-wise, that's the leadership-wise, the fact that the person who is supposed to head the relationship in general, who is supposed to have the last say, is biblical, and I think it is even from the inception supposed to be from the man, because
it has to have the last say in the house.
The last say, yes, in the house as the head. Yes. Now I was saying something. I said 60-40. You guys did not allow me to land.
Oh yeah.
Now let me land now.
Land now. 60-40.
Now, do you know that?
So who's bringing 60? Who's bringing 40?
The kids are.
Hold on,
the man. The woman is bringing 40. If she's capable. If she's not capable, you can take care of it.
Because it just seems like you've already everything.
No, the planning is like, okay, if you are more than okay to take care of everything as a man, fine and good. In fact, those are the sacrifices that when the woman tells you that this thing, let's say, like you made mention of a man later betraying the woman and say, these things I did for you. Even in his conscience of conscience, he will know that himself, no try.
I don't want you to get.
Do you understand? Those are sacrifices. Then, okay, I bring in 60, she brings 40. The kids are the responsibility of the man. The wife herself is the responsibility of the man. You know, even in Africa, the in-laws, at least for the first 10-20 years, the man is supposed to even be showing once. I cannot go to my wife's parent place empty-handed. It's not possible.
Can I ask you a question?
Do you get? Oh, I'm all ears.
Okay, you said 60-40.
Yes.
Financially, right?
Financially.
What about the domestic chores? How are we going to do it?
Now this is 2020. We have guys.
2020.
It's 2022. Sorry.
Okay.
2022.
Okay, who's going to take it off?
That's why I still make emphasis on individual difference, because I cannot just say.
Don't be diplomatic here. Please answer my question. Don't be diplomatic here. Okay. Go straight to the answer. The domestic chores.
The case of domestic chores.
Yes.
Now, there are cases where by even napkin, like taking care of the baby, a man does that.
No, I'm trying to say in this your situation of
60-40. It's support.
In your question 60-40. Now, under that 60-40, the domestic chores.
What you're supposed to ask me is, what am I doing with the remaining 40? That's what you're supposed to ask.
Allow me to ask you what I want to ask you. You cannot tell me the question I want to ask you. Okay. It is my own question. You can't twist it around.
What you're supposed to ask me.
The domestic chores.
Since you are having a problem with the system.
I'm not having a problem with the system now.
What you're supposed to ask me is,
No, sorry to cut you short. I'm not having a problem with the system. Let's assume we're husband and wife now. Okay. So I've agreed to your own term. I'm bringing in 40, right? Financially, right? You're bringing in 60. Now the domestic chores. How are we going to go about it?
2022, people they tend to want to get external help. Let's say if she's working, wait now.
I'm listening now. Why is that why is my expression
if she's working?
if she's
working.
Okay.
You know that you have to be.
No, she's already working now, because for her to bring 40, she's working. She's working.
You have to be sensitive. So you have to be reasonable. That you know that tit for tat, something has to go for something. If she's working, definitely there are going to be gaps.
No, she's working already.
There are going to be gaps in the marriage, like in taking care of the kids and all. So that's where you have to still get extra support, like house help and all. But I still know some women that will tell you that they want to still cook for their husbands. Cook, even if they don't make the domestic part.
Not like you know some women in that domestic staffs you're bringing now.
Yeah.
Would you like it if your wife allow your domestic staffs to cook for you, to take care of your
it
kids?
It depends on her. Now, that's why I said some will still decide that they
I'm asking you,
what
do you want?
It depends on.
Would you want the domestic help to
cook
make
for
your food
you
and
or your wife to do that for you? Be honest with yourself, please.
If she's free. Yes, now
you're very diplomatic.
Wait, now let's say
weekend. She's
love,
free.
There's loving. If I'm
she's crossing her leg on the sitting room.
See, a woman has this satisfaction that. Okay, how do you think so?
Why are you always putting it on a woman? I'm asking you a question. Do you want your wife to cook for you or your domestic staff?
I would love for my wife to cook for me because I will appreciate it. But if she's not,
and you still want her to bring forth.
But if she does, but if she does not, if she's not chance, but if she's not chance, like she does not have free time.
She has chance. She's free.
She's free.
Yes.
Okay. Have you not seen cases?
By the way, who is paying the domestic staff? Sorry.
Myself. Now that's why you didn't even ask me what I'm doing with the remaining 40. Do you know that even 10% is still going to the woman's family, the in-laws?
How do we know that?
Nobody's begging you to give in-laws.
Remind you because you still have your own family to take care of.
Okay, what if the in-laws are more wealthy than you? You know when you meet with other people, you probably can't just be giving them peanut or something. They don't need anything from you. So don't always make it. Men always make it look like women are always coming out from the poor home where you have to sort them out. No, we're not talking about that.
It's not about. It's just they're entitled to it.
It's like it's not an entitlement.
You appreciate.
You said that. Don't use that word entitled. They're not entitled.
Okay, let's see the case of Kanu. Kanu got married to his wife, not knowing that she was a virgin. He had paid the dowry and paid everything. When he married her and noticed that she was not a virgin, I think he paid double
He paid double because she was a virgin.
Yes, too. He was not supposed to do that. It's just his own personality. So there are some men that feel that okay, I got married to a real asset, and I appreciate the fact that
Kanu is a famous footballer. In fact, world-class footballer. Then he has the money. We're not talking about that. Let's say you get married.
But how did Kanu ever enter into this matter?
No, we're talking about in-laws now.
We're not talking about in-laws.
He's used the word entitlement. That in-laws are not entitled. If you want to even use, if you say in-laws are entitled to some certain things,
now, and we're going to see your parents after like a long time of not seeing them, and you know that I'm okay for that time. You know that I have money, and you have even seen when I gave to my own family. And
when you're doing your doings now, you get
out. Then we got to your family and we just greeted and all that. We just left.
What if my family they are more wealthy than you?
It does not matter.
If you give my father money, it's an insult. Sorry, bro.
Do you know what we call giving? Giving is not the amount of what you give. It's the intention behind the giving.
Yes,
that is what people sense. It's not you are giving me something expensive. It does not matter. If the person is sensible enough, he knows that you are just giving that person because you appreciate the person, because you want.
But in this context,
I'm trying to let you guys understand that we're not even talking about your external or extended.
No, he's actually bringing it in, which is still okay.
No, we're talking about you and your wife making plans for the two of you, because whatever plans you make, when you say 50-50, right? When she's bringing 50, you're bringing 50. Quote and unquote. When she's financially okay, she can go to your family house and give them something without you even knowing. You can also take care of her.
It's like saying if she goes to my family house now and decide to help them with the chores. She feels that some women will have the sense to do that. Some will feel that there's no need.
You go to your family house to help them.
You see,
oh, Jehovah.
Yeah, some will just feel that okay, let me just help her. Let me just cook.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's even bring in that question of. I think I read it online. The one with I think I told you about it.
Yeah, that
the girl was in the sitting room and the boyfriend's mother was actually sweeping. She had to raise her legs for the woman to sweep, and the woman later asked her out as act of the house, and the boy ended the relationship.
Okay.
Like someone like you would be like, oh, why didn't she sweep? Right?
Okay. You know, your judgment is not African. Let me clear that.
And maybe people say that I don't have African mentality.
Your
but
judgment,
it's okay. It's okay. I like it like that.
If you are defining something, you check the environment you are. That's why it's not always. There are different perspectives to stuff. If I'm to say, okay, animals, birds and all, they have their environment that determines the way they grow, determines their nature in entirety. You understand? So if you are talking about these things now, you have to look at the African part of it.
Okay.
Because take for instance now, you have your own son, and you've given your all and everything, and he just brings in a lady, and there are sometimes somebody doesn't have to be verbally rude to you. Action speaks louder than voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You understand? And you are in the same position whereby you have to sweep, and she's
Okay.
there. She cannot even like, let me just support you. African culture.
Okay.
Now that's what we even stand for. What we stand for as
Okay.
Africans is we have culture. We are trained well. It's not as if you cannot make your decisions and say you don't want to do this. You just believe that this is why we are different from the whites. The whites can even call their mom by name, call their dad by name, and act. But when you're talking about African culture, you have to consider those things. That is what you're even passing down to your kids. Do you understand? There are some things you know that you can stand and say, my child cannot do this, because you know you've trained the child. That's why sometimes when you notice that, but that's why this parenting stuff I'm talking about, it affects all angles, even the
we
kids.
have just actually modeled up everything.
Everything.
Right.
You understand? No, I'm trying to still emphasize on. I'm
Let's
trying
not
to
go
explain
further.
what she's talking
No,
about.
I understand.
You can't say
Let's not
the woman is at fault.
derail.
You
Let's not
understand?
derail.
Especially when they had conversations. Maybe she's.
We'll still come back to that, because everything is still between that.
Yes,
It's
but
still in
you
that
guys are
circle.
taking it
No,
further away.
because he's always trying to bring in some ideas, and I'll be like, that was why I asked him this question, because now you're trying to model it around it's an African kind of thing. Listen, if you are in my house, okay, let me ask you one question because of this. If I was Otedola's daughter copying, would you have felt bad if I didn't help your mother sweep?
Yes.
You will still feel bad. Be honest with
Yes.
yourself.
Do you know the way they even
I mean,
connected?
Otedola's daughter.
Yes,
oh.
now the way they even connected. See, that's why people
Hey,
used to say
God.
2022 now. Some men feel that because okay, you are welder than myself, I should submit. Like I should just be answerable to you. That means if I can do that to you, any other lady can do that outside. They can ridicule your man. Your man is supposed to stand. Your man is supposed to stand out.
Well,
Are you
well,
standing out as the man?
well-
first of all? Because if you're standing out as the man,
well,
you'll be measured as how tall you're standing.
well, sweetheart,
However you look at it, whether Nigerian culture, African
Do you know
culture,
that? Do you know that?
or-
the truth is there. The
It's
truth is
easy,
there.
easy. They're talking
Why-
about easy, and this lady you're talking about. Easy
So it's
snubbed
not-
her. Their first
Tell me,
encounter.
is the one easy
Tell
was
me,
is
yes.
dirty, not copy. Why I brought this thing to you is, why would a mother-in-law sweep in front of a guest?